Welcome to Arab EmTech Technology Week. My name is Dr. Erdal, and today we are going to talk about the need of cybersecurity for executives. Before I start, this is all my books. I got a surprise for you in a few seconds. I will talk about it. As I said, I work at Dr. Erdal, I work at Komodo as Chief Security Advisor and Chief Information Security Officer. Joined newly. For the ones that know me, I used to just a couple of weeks ago the regional CISO for Standard Chartered Bank in Middle East and Africa, and now I'm at Komodo in a global role. But as I said, these are my books, and these are all my contact details. If you want to stay in touch after this session, you can always reach out to me through anything that you see in the screen. And a surprise for today, if you go ahead and tweet about this session, 5 top tweeted tweeters is going to win a book of their choice. So all what you have to do is take a screenshot while I'm speaking, share your feedback about the session, and 5 people, they got to 5 most likes will be able to select their choice of the book. All right. I think we all know our world has changed. We are not in the same world anymore. A little virus that we even cannot see changed the way we live, the way we work. We cannot go without mask out anymore. Majority of the world is still waiting for get vaccination. I was one of the lucky ones in Dubai to get my vaccination, even though right now I'm sitting in Australia. I'm still resident of Dubai, and I will be traveling back a lot, but I know most of the world is still waiting for the vaccination. We used to shake hands. We used to hug each other. We used to go to sports events, or those events used to be face-to-face. Things have changed. No more handshaking. We have to keep social distancing. And we only watching sports games from TV for now. As I said, the way we attend conferences and the way we work has also changed. With this as a bonus, the way we get hacked now is also changing. I used to go to the office, drive all the way from A point to the B point, park in a secure location, use my swipe card, enter the building, pass security, use my swipe card, go to the right level, use my swipe card, go to the building, go to my office space, sit down, connect to my computer, and my computer was automatically connected to my corporate network. But now, as I said, I'm in Sydney, Australia. At home, I could be in a coffee shop at Costa or Starbucks or you name it. I can connect to multiple connections without knowing that I'm secure or not. And of course, hackers are leveraging this to hack, to steal, to explore, to exploit. The list can go longer and longer. I think we all will agree that the threat landscape has changed a lot. If you went to my YouTube channel, you will see that right end of last year, I recorded a session while I was in Dubai, predicting what was going to happen in 2021. And unfortunately, all those predictions came to life. I'm not going to talk about that. You can go to my YouTube channel and watch it. But let's talk what's happening. I want you to meet Judy. Judy, who's Judy? Judy is actually nobody. She's just one end user working to one organization. She's in her break time and she wants to browse internet. There's nothing wrong about that, right? So what's happening? As I said, that there is lots of cyber attacks happening. You can close your eyes, put your finger in top of the map, and probably that country, that location was hacked before. Cyber attacks based on sectors. As you can see, there is no sector which was not affected yet. When we look at countries, doesn't matter how powerful you are, Doesn't matter how small or big you are, you somehow are getting attacked, infected, affected. Phishing. You know, email is still #1 attack vector of starting every attack. Ransomware. Unfortunately, more and more companies started to pay ransoms, and it's not just like 3-4 bitcoins anymore. Just last week, it was in the news, more than $40 million were paid for ransom in a company to get their files back. Malware has increased. Email spam rate gets increasing. Ransomware, you know, increased. IoT attacks, vulnerabilities, mining detections. I can talk about this all day and every day. I better highlight what's happening. There is 2 types of organizations. 1, they know they've been hacked. 2, they don't. Going forward, there is going to be 2 types of organizations. 1, they hire the right talents and they pay the right attention to cybersecurity. The ones they get assume breach in mind, use the right tools, use the right tactics, the right strategy, and stay secure. And the ones they hire based on friendships, they buy based on shadow IT, they buy based on who's going to send me to Las Vegas. The ones they buy lots of security products thinking they're going to be secure and getting hacked. And all my examples are examples that I faced up when I was a cybersecurity architect at Microsoft visiting customers. Unfortunately, people think the more they buy, the more secure they are. Or they used to tell me, okay, what is Microsoft or X company giving me if I buy the product? I'm like, nothing, you get just the services. But company X is giving me free Las Vegas trip. I'm like, is it going to be security? You know, we have to think what we really want. So, cybersecurity, it is important. I want to go back to Judy. Judy is just about to become a victim of a cyber attack. How? She is in her lunch break. She's about to get married, as example. She's going to Bing or Google, searching for wedding dresses. And somehow she clicks in a link that Google was displaying. Do you see any difference between Judy and any of end users? I don't. So she goes to this beautiful website. Boom! Unfortunately, there is a malware running at the background, which infects Judy's computer, gets access to the network, loads the encrypted payload, and gets their food into the organization. Or, you know, they use different methods to go through, or you have different methods to protect or detect those attack types. Honestly, even though I work for Komodo Cybersecurity, I'm not going to talk about any products. This session is all about a solution. When I say solution, not product-based, a solution that we need to implement in our minds. So, in summary, the attackers keep evolving. To beat a hacker, if you don't think like a hacker, then you cannot beat the hacker. So to beat the hacker, you have to think like a hacker. And as Chen Tzu said, nearly 2,500 years ago, you have to know your enemy. But this is not enough. You have to know yourself. When I say yourself, your assets, when I say your assets, this is your employees, your software, your hardware, your partners. But this is also not enough to win a war. So you have to know your enemy, your potential attackers, yourself. Then you have to not get feared of losing an attack. But this is not enough. Even if you know the enemy, you have to also know the attack surface that you're using. What I'm trying to say here is, you have to know your technology. If you want to go to sand duping in desert in Middle East, you won't get a Ferrari. You should get a SUV to do that. Yes, a Ferrari makes nicer noise, makes it look cool, but it's not going to go far away and it's going to cost you lots of money. So sometimes buying the best is not good. Buying the right tool is the best. So you have to know yourself, you have to know the attacker, you have to know the attacking ground, and then you don't have to be afraid of losing a war. So when I put this back into IT, you have to be aware of what's happening in your surrounding. I always say, look, you don't have to like a neighbor, but if there's a fire in your neighbor, you better go and help your neighbor, because the fire might jump into your house. I want you to keep in mind that hackers are not from space. They are really not like that you see in the movies. They use similar technology. Not every hacker is a Linux guru, or not every hacker is a programming expert. Sometimes they just use ready tools. Sometimes they wait until there's a vulnerability disclosed and they use an exploit from dark web or from any internet website they can find. And they sometimes accidentally go through. I saw this happening. They have some goals. Honestly, they don't care about you, who you are, what you do. Their goal is either to steal or to encrypt your devices, ask for ransom, or to destroy, or. They're organized. Like you, most probably they are in a crime group. I mean, when I say like you are an organization group. You have a manager, you have a boss. Most probably they have a crime manager. They have a crime leader. They have similar levels of skills. Probably the only thing is they have an unlimited budget, where you have limited budget to protect the organization. Besides that, you as defender, if you work in an organization like me, you have maybe tens of thousands of endpoints and users, partners that you need to protect, while the hackers has to find one and only one vulnerability or attack vector to be successful. But the main difference is the attacker, to be successful, has to go through the Lockheed Martin cybersecurity kill chain end to end. You as defender, if you can detect one of the attack classes early enough, you can successfully block hopefully the rest. So back to the recommendation that I made 3 minutes ago. To stop a hacker, you have to practice thinking like a hacker. And you, as an executive, are responsible to ensure that you hire the right talent. You hire the right talent, the CISO, who will implement the right cybersecurity strategy to keep you secure. An example, we all were shocked when one of the world's cybersecurity firms were hacked late last year, early this year. It was one of the best cybersecurity firms. Look, I work for one at the moment, but let's be honest, that company was really good, and it's still good, by the way. But they were hacked. Investigations, they found out they were hacked through a third-party supply chain attack. Investigations, by then everybody was talking about how sophisticated the attack was, and it was, to be very honest. But it was not the first kind of the attack. If you remember NotPetya in Ukraine, similar attack happened before. The main difference of this is when that cybersecurity firm, together with Microsoft, they finished the investigation, they find out that there was the main company which caused that cybersecurity firm to get hacked was using a password. Unfortunately, I have to tell the company because the password is within the company is within the password, SolarWinds 123. And the ex-CEO blamed an intern to use a weak password without knowing his responsibilities. As a CEO, you are responsible not just of profit, not just of your teams, not of your just growing your organization, but also securing your organization. If you don't hire the right talent and they don't implement the right security strategy, then you will be called the ex-CEO. Let's move ahead. How can we defend against those attacks? As I said, building after you hire the right talent, it's important as executives to ensure that the talent, the CISO, the CIO, the CTO, I really don't care what we call them, build a cybersecurity strategy. A cybersecurity strategy is a plan for managing organization security risk according to defined risk tolerance. The person that you hire has to understand your business as well as cybersecurity. The goal of your strategy is not to be as secure as possible. I just showed the news. There is not such a thing. You have to be secure as possible. Again, back to Senchu, he said this nearly again 2,500 years ago. Strategy without tactic is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without a strategy is the noise before defeat. So before you even go and buy a software, before even you go and hire or buy a book, you have to have a strategy that can help you to save your day when the attack happens. You don't have to be perfect. It has to be business risk driven, and it has to be in an optimal level supported by you, an executive, for security investment. You, as CISO or as an IT guy, have to sell security to your executive teams. You have to ensure they understand the needs. Why you're buying the software? Is it for you to go for a Las Vegas trip, or is it really for you to protect your organization? Are you buying this software because it has a nice output which displays the logs, or are you buying this because it gives you, it empowers you what you need? It empowers you to stop attacks, to detect them in early stages. It's like, if you have 500 laptops, will you go and buy the 501st laptop for yourself? Most probably no. You will only go and buy based on needs, unless you are one of the spoiled kids. You have to construct your security. You have to define it. What was a cybersecurity strategy? Basically a plan to managing your organization's security risk according to defined risk. You have to have a proper security architecture, which provides you an overview of the recommended architecture and implementation technology choices. You have, the pandemic showed us that we all need to leverage the cloud somehow. And when I say the cloud, of course, there is Microsoft Azure, Amazon, Alibaba, Google. You have to look at what they're giving you. Is it really, are you buying it because it gives you free Prime videos? Or are you really buying it because it gives you the security needs that you have? The empowerment against your regulators, the initiatives to secure yourself. As I said, when you hire your talent, the talent has to understand the business. The talent has to understand the security, the stakeholders, not security. And you, as executive, have to sponsor that talent, have to help to understand them, the business, to be successful. An example, when I joined my previous company, I never worked in a bank before. I consulted many banks in small projects, but I never worked in a bank before. And I remember they asked me in an interview, what do you know about banking? I'm like, you put your money Your money comes there, you use the credit card. They said, yeah, okay, what is transactional banking? I'm like, you transact money? How? I'm like, I don't know, but I know what the ones and zeros are behind it. I know how TCP/IP works. I know how attackers leverage their skills to use the vulnerabilities to interrupt your process. I know blah, 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 blah. At the end, I was hired. And the first 30 to 60 days, I started to understand what the business is, how I can work with bankers. They are in the industry for 20, 25 years. I was in a regional office. I was working with many CEOs, country CEOs, brand CEOs, or division CEOs, cluster CEOs, and a global CEO as well. I work, and this CEO, you can multiply with COOs, with CTOs, with CIOs. I understand how the business works. In the beginning, it was painful, but as soon as I understood, I was able to create the impact. And when I resigned from my job to move to Komodo, even beside the regional team that I worked, I had a thank you letter from the group CISO. Why? Me understanding the business helped. So you as an executive, or you as a cybersecurity or IT professional, please understand the business model, understand the threats, the risk. We all know what potential risk is, right? This is threat times vulnerability. If you understand the top cybersecurity risk, the potential losses, the acceptable level of losses, you can secure your organization better. All what you have to do is identify the key challenges. Use a framework like NIST, like, if you're in Saudi Arabia, like SAMA, if you in UAE, like NISA, if you in Europe, GDPR, Cybersecurity Act, just use a framework which is proven to work. Coordinate actions to address challenges, and always keep an eye, monitor, dream, aspire, work with the team members, and understand requirements versus solutions to be more secure, to have a night, to have a rest at your night, to sleep well. And you have to also understand one thing. You have to be ready. Sorry?
For the time, just a reminder for the time. We have 2 minutes, 3 minutes maximum.
Thank you very much. My time is also there, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Be ready for a cyber attack. So assume breach. If you know I'm just about to hit you, what will you do? I mean, as a smart person, you will protect yourself. So your organization is about to get hacked. How do I know that? I don't know even who you are. I see a couple of names here, but I don't know even who you are. I don't know even where you work, your IP address, but I know someone is watching you. Regardless, I'm not because you are you or you work in X, unless it's a nation state. This is important to, it's important mindset to have. And one other thing, buy the software that you need. Don't just rely on antivirus or just a firewall or just a HIPS. Build your strategy, your talents. Keep in mind, you can't defeat the threats of the present with the tools from the past. And more importantly, cybersecurity is not just the CEO's or CISO's responsibility. Build a cyber culture such that everyone in the organization understands cyber risks and help you mitigate them. Remember, I was talking about the differences between hackers and defenders. I said, if you can detect an attack in early stage, you can most probably stop the rest of the attack. So if you can create a cybersecurity culture that everybody in the organization, from your contractor to your CEO, from your CEO to your cleaner, from your cleaner to your office critical, understand cybersecurity, they cooperate, they coordinate with you, hopefully you can be more secure. So click to edit master's title slide is wrong, but ignore that one. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining the session. It was great pleasure for me to be in the BT Arab Week here. I hope you enjoyed the session. And don't forget, those are my contact details. Feel free to reach out to me. And if you tweet about the session, you can select one of my books. You can reach out to me via PM, or I will reach out to you. And I will ask you which book you want, and I will send you an ebook. So thank you very much. Stay in touch. And I'm looking forward to learn in other sessions myself as well.
Thank you so much.
I think do we have a Q&A? Is there any questions or no questions?
Yeah, we can give like 1 minute. Thank you. Amazing session, inspiring.
Thank you.
Great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great. We have no question, but at least you are available in the WUVA and they can send you the question.
Yes, I am. I am.
Don't forget to tweet to get your copy.
I think some people tweeted already.
Nice.
Let me announce a winner. Andreas, congratulations. Yes, Ahmed, you got one as well. Ahmed Manzoor. You know, I will definitely send you one, and everybody else, there is 3 more books to win. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.